Hello, everyone. My name is Thea, and I am part of the Manji Youth Club. I'm volunteering here. And as you might know, we have Mental Health Week this week. We are talking about mental health problems that youth and people may face in some period of life. Today we have my dear friend as well, our family friend, who is a psychologist and a therapist as well, and that is Olja. Hi, Olja, and how are you doing today?
Ciao, Thea. Thank you very much for inviting me. So glad always to take the opportunities to talk with the youth. So thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes, so I have here some questions, and I think it will be good if you can answer some of them. Actually, all of them. They're about anxiety and depression mostly. First question is, what is anxiety and how can you recognize it?
Okay.
What are the symptoms?
Okay. I would actually start from the fear here, because this is a basic, let's say, of anxiety. It's a kind of fear. So fear is one of the basic emotions. We all know fear, yeah? It's a protective-based reaction, actually. And just remind ourselves about the lesson from biology or anatomy. Our brain has basically 3 brains. So one of them is reptile or lizard brain, which is back here somehow. And this brain is evolutionally the oldest, let's say. The fastest one, reacts very fast and is responsible for reactive states of fight, flight, or freeze. So when we walk, which is not realistic now, but for example, if we see the lion, or actually if we see the fire in the house, or for example, our reptile brain reacts in a way that instantly, let's say, floods our brain with the chemicals that produces this fight, flight, or freeze reaction. So we become, we get fear, become afraid, and we react instantly. And these reactions actually, and this brain has a protective function, but fear is not always an appropriate or adaptive response in all circumstances. And here we come. This inappropriate expression of fear is actually characterizes anxiety, or even more, anxiety disorders. So I would distinguish here what you ask for anxiety, but we have also, apart from anxiety, anxiety disorders. So normal anxiety actually is an emotion in stressful situations that we just, for example, explained, protective in case of emergency. It's, as I said, like a fear, but increased fear, let's say. And anxiety maybe is not as much functional anymore as fear. So it's a next level, let's say. However, anxiety disorders, which are, for example, phobias, panic attacks, or OCD or PTSD, they are pathological expressions of fear. So it's an extreme, even in situations which are not a real threat. So excessive worrying about everything, very difficult to control, as well includes symptoms of restlessness, let's say, or concentration loss, etc. So this is like a bit of anxiety. I hope it's clear. Let me know.
Yes, I understood what is anxiety, but what about the depression? So what is depression then? And what are the symptoms of the depression?
Okay, here I would also distinguish feeling depressed versus having depression. So feeling depressed, being down, I mean, it's a common response to life's events, such as suffering of loss or disappointment, and we can hardly call this disorder. So we've all been down sometimes. However, depression is a mental disorder, actually it's affective disorder or mood disorder characterized by disordered emotions. So it is something more prolonged and much more severe, let's say, than being depressed and have anxiety. So it's characterized by feeling that someone's emotional state is no longer under his or her control. It can occur suddenly, often without obvious external cause, lasts, let's say, minimum 2 consecutive weeks, affects work, life, relationships. Other symptoms may be change of mood, loss of interest in things you normally enjoy, lower or higher appetite, feel of guilt, worthlessness, change in sleep, too much or too little sleep, slowness, poor concentration, and all the way to suicidal thoughts. So I would say if you have minimum 5 of those symptoms, you should think about getting help or expert to get to check if you really have depression or not. So basically, I mean, as I said, being depressed is being down, and it's much, you know, common thing, unlike depression, which is you are like in a dark and in a tunnel where you do not see light at all sometimes in the worst, let's say, in severe cases. All your, let's say, like your windows and doors are closed and you are full in a dark. So you really need minimal, let's say, steps in order to open the space for light to come in. That's why the support is very needed in this case. So,
of course.
Yeah, I hope it's clear, this part. I mean, I can talk a lot.
It's like very
clear and short. Yes.
But now I'm wondering, how can someone get anxiety and depression? Like, what are they like steps of getting them, or it just like appear suddenly, or is it like genetics? Like, what's going on there?
There are different theories, of course. Some mention genetics, as you said, some mention environmental environment, some together, etc. But we now know through the science of epigenetics, actually, that it's not the gene that creates disease, but the environment that programs our genes to create disease. And not just the external environment, meaning cigarette smoke or pesticide or something like this, but also the internal environment within the body. So what I mean by this, now we come to emotions, for example. So emotions are chemical feedback or the end products of experience we have in our external environment. So as we react to a situation in our external environment, that produces an emotion. And this emotion is resulting with inner chemistry. So our body has chemistry, and this chemistry can signal our genes to either turn on or turn off. So this is the modern science, let's say, that discovered that genes and cannot react, let's say, without basically the stimuli from outside. So this is how it's connected. And so I would say that beside, or better to say, before these emotions that are extension of our experience, we have also thoughts, we have expectations. So basically, we can say that the cause could be also the stress of expectations we put on ourselves, being over hard or too tough on ourselves. So if you think and feel, so we mentioned emotions and we mentioned this thoughts. So if we think and feel in certain way, we begin by this to create an attitude. And attitude is kind of a shortened state of being. And if we put series of attitudes together, we create belief. And beliefs actually are more prolonged states of being that tend to become subconscious even. We are not even aware sometimes of our beliefs. And if we put together a lot of beliefs, we create a perception. So perceptions have everything to do with the choices we make, the behaviors we exhibit, and relationship we choose. At the end, reality we create. So just to, we can have many negative belief systems in this way. We can internalize and such as, I don't know, self-accusation. We believe and feel guilty about all mistakes we did, or being over-responsible. So I would say, and this is like a modern psychology also, which says, and the brain science confirms, it's change your thoughts, change your emotions, and we change our reality.
What are the tips of dealing with depression and anxiety, and how can we overcome it? You know, we believe, like I also believe that you don't have to live with that forever, so you can overcome that, but how?
No, for sure, for sure. That's why I was telling this story, because sometimes, of course, we have control, we can have control, or we can be aware, sorry, the word control, take it out. We can be aware of our thoughts, and we can become aware of our beliefs. So awareness is a first step. And if we are aware, we can change, and we can rehearse even a different one. So of course, for everything there is a cure, and we can learn. The recent studies showed how brain is plastic. So neuroplasticity is something that scientists are talking about. And basically, whatever we missed, we can develop, and we can change for sure. And this is our assignment, let's say, especially today when we have all the resources and internet and everything. We can really find a lot of ways and techniques how to get better and how to improve and our life and raise our potential, let's say. So talking about some tips in these situations, and I would say, as I said, the way we cope and the coping resources are the key. So I would recommend, this is just my recommendation, let's say, a few tips. So first one, and I read you already posted this one, is, and I have to emphasize this one, is talk to someone. This is the first and most important. Talk to anyone. I mean, talk to your parents, talk to your friends, talk to an expert, to your teacher, coach, whoever, but talk, open up, speak. This is like this is very important. As I said, in situations where we have depression, you don't see light, and you cannot see that you forget about the idea how it's being good, and you forget there is an option to ask someone for help. So remember this, just talk to someone. This is important. Then a second, I would say that as we said, anxiety and fear, it's connected to reptile brain. And the other two brains are limbic brain, because I said there are three, limbic or emotional brain, and neocortex. So if we want to do something with these brains, we need to speak in their own language. So reptile brain do not understand words or explanations. Reptile brain understands the language of breathing and muscles, let's say. So in order to send a message to reptile brain that you are safe, you cannot say, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. He's not listening, not understanding. So basically, you need to breathe, and through your breath, send a message to your brain that everything is fine. And through breathing, you relax also your muscles. So this is the way you send a message to your reptile brain, I'm fine, I am relaxed, I'm safe. Don't react. I don't need fight, flight, freeze, fear, anxiety. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Apart from this, we have, as I said, emotional brain. So I will make this simple. That's why simple and short. Of course, these are big lessons about limbic brain, reptile, but let's try to be simple. So considering limbic brain, actually emotional one, we can talk to it with emotions, or producing the good emotions, remembering the situations when we felt joy, happiness, and doing visualizing. Actually, visualizations are also the language of limbic brain. And neocortex, which is a rational brain, let's say, a brain who speaks abstract language, or actually speaks language, numbers and words. So we can add to this breathing and relaxation and these pictures and elevating good emotions, also affirmations, for example, saying everything is fine. How can it be even better than this? So this is about story, to connect with the previous, what we said about that thoughts create our reality. So here with this part of brain, we can connect this previous story. Is it clear?
Yes, it is very clear and very interesting, actually.
Okay, good. Good, I'm glad. If it is, then I would always recommend nature. I mean, youth and even we adults who are, we are raised in analog, how you say, and then we became digital. So even we are connected fully to mobiles and to we work in offices, etc. And I can imagine also teenagers and adolescents very connected to social networks and a screen. And sometimes we forget nature, and we are nature. So we need to get out. We need to hug trees. We need to breathe the air. We need to go barefoot on the ground, because this grounding is essential. It brings back our, let's say, our vibration aligned with nature. And in nature, there is no anxiety or fear or something. I mean, depression. So we need to be aligned, let's say, with nature. Then, fourth, I would say, very important, forgive yourself. So let it go. Compassion towards yourself. Take a failure as experience. There is no life without failure. Failure is a part of life, is the experience, and it's a lesson given to us. We need to go through it. So face it, dance with your anxiety, and forgive yourself, love yourself. Don't be too hard over yourself. Yeah? This is like fourth. I don't know which one anymore, but okay. Next one, I would say nutrition. Good nutrition and exercise, including, of course, yoga, anything that, this is also, of course, very important. Then, as many masters says, including our Mohanji, when you are in this state of let's say, depression, or how we say, take an action. So action, you need to try to cut this. I know it's very hard, especially in depression, to do something, but do something. action. Make yourself feel that you have some kind of control during the day over your life. So structure your day and do some action. And this can, let's say, provoke energy to wake up and to, let's say, to try to move your energy and to get out of this state. Then what I would say as few other tips is purpose and meaning. So this is also what you at Youth Club mentioned, volunteering. Yeah. So as I need now to a psychologist to at least quote somebody from this branch. So Viktor Frankl, he said that for people who think there is nothing to live for and nothing more to expect from life, the question is getting these people to realize that life is still expecting something from them. So I would say to all youth, actually, you know, the world needs you. There is someone out there who needs you, who can use support, who can give what you have, your knowledge, your time, your love, your dedication. But the life needs you and expects something from you. So if you know, you can start with sharing this knowledge that we just talked about, or sharing this video. It's also a start. If nothing else works, of course, but anyway, in any case, even if it works, you can always go to experts. I mean, psychotherapy, spiritual guidance from gurus, from acharyas, or as I said, psychotherapists who are specialized in, especially in these areas. I mean, this is great experience, even if you don't have any obvious problem. Working on yourself and becoming aware and working on your awareness is a great thing to do. And especially in the situation when you really have an experience problem. So ask for help. This is it. There are many other tips, but this is the ones that I have now from my pocket. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Of course. And this really helped me as well to understand people who, you know, are going through something like this as well. And I think it is important just as well for them to know that they can get out of that and they can live, you know, happy and free again. But yes.
Sure. Everything can be overcome for sure and beaten. Love is the basic and you know, is everywhere.
Yeah,
and
love is always the right answer.
It's always the right answer. So, but as I said, you know, depression is a hard state, and sometimes you do not, as I said, remember what is positive. You cannot see it, so you really need to find easy steps and to open those doors of light and to remember. But don't forget, light is always there. Light is there. Maybe we don't see it at the moment, but it's there. So have trust, have faith, and go through that experience, and it will come. You will see the light for sure. It's there.
Well, this interview was amazing.
I hope so.
Thank you for thank you for sharing your knowledge, and thank you for taking time to participate and to help just increase the awareness of mental health and mental health week that we have. And thank you for this amazing experience.
Thank you very much, Thea. I'm really glad if I contributed in any way, and I'm here if you want some other time, again, some other topic, open up for you. Thank you very much. I'm really grateful.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you, Olja. Thank you.